Yo, what's going on, guys? Clutch back again with another video for you guys, and today this is another insane tactic video. It's going to be a new formation for you guys, something we haven't showed you guys in a little bit, and I absolutely love using it. Before we do get into it, if you haven't already, please smash that like button, smash the sub button as well. We're trying to reach 5,000 subscribers. We're about 230 away, so it'd be massively appreciated. Every one of you that can just smash that, it'll be massively appreciated. And if you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. Do you want an amazing team like this? Well, head over to u7buy.com to get the most cheap and reliable coins on FC24 and use code CLUTCH for 6% off. Now, guys, we are going to go into the tactics. This is, again, it's a relatively new one. I think I've only showed this one once on the channel before. It's the 4-3-1-2. It's a very fun formation to use, a very attacking one. And like I said, I'm super excited to show you guys it. So, defensive style I am using is press on heavy touch. If you haven't used what press on heavy touch, what it does basically is your players will only go and press the ball when someone, say, makes a heavy touch, plays a loose pass, or maybe has their back to the goal, like turns around and faces their goal, basically. Basically, any way where the game recognises it might be difficult for an opponent to play out, the game then pounces. So it is actually, it's almost a bit AI in the way of the fact that the game will help recognise it for you about when to go for the press. It is actually pretty good. And with the 4-3-1-2, with so many bodies in these central areas, you can really press the life out of people. Now, our width is on 45. If you haven't heard this from me before, I don't know how. But basically, we use the 45 width to make sure those fullbacks just tuck in a little bit narrower. Why do we want this? Well, through balls are so deadly in between the fullbacks and the centre backs, and with 50 width, basically it does just make them stay that little bit wider, makes that gap just that little bit bigger and a little bit easier. So 45 width, you still get the extra, you still get protection for the wide area, but you also get a little bit more protection on those through balls just to make sure we don't concede any silly goals. Now, I do have the depth on 71. I know we all hate it. I know we're all bored of it. I don't want to do it, but it is what is best on the game at the minute. And I'm listening to you guys in the comments. I don't always just want to push this, but my responsibility is to try and make the best tactic for you guys. And unfortunately, 71 depth is it. If you don't know about 71 depth, what it does basically, it helps you press the ball even better to a point where it's just absolutely cracked, and it can be very, very hard for your opponent to get out. Alongside that, with press on heavy touch and just the high depth in general, it just means that your opponent's going to have a real hard time to try and get up the pitch if you play the right way. Now, our build-up play is on fast build-up. Obviously, as we are pressing, trying to play up the pitch, the best way for us to score goals then would be to counter-attack. And with a 4-3-1-2, it is absolutely built for it. With the bodies in the centre, with the full-backs, the wide centre mids, it's so perfect to counter-attack people quickly and fastly. And fast build-up is the best way to do it. Basically, with fast build-up, it does just literally push your players forward as fast as you can. Obviously, it does mean that if you do lose the ball, you do risk counter-attacks and things like that. But like I said, we really are trying to just basically make the most of the formation, and that is to try and score goals. Now, our chance creation is on direct passing. Direct passing is absolutely busted this year. Has been for the last few, because obviously they're quite similar, the games. And as I was speaking about, the through balls are just absolutely ridiculous. They're so hard to defend, and using direct passing is the best way to score through balls. With stuff like threaded balls and precision through balls, there's so many different through balls, you almost kind of lose track of it. And with direct passing, what it does, people with high attacking positioning, high sprint speed, high acceleration, they make better in-behind runs against our opponents. So it's just an absolute, it all just works so well with a press on heavy touch, 71 depth, fast build-up, direct passing. It all kind of basically puts everything together to play a certain way that can be so hard to defend, especially going forward. It can be so hard. Now, the width is on 50. I just haven't moved it. Obviously, with the wide centre mids and things like that, they stay relatively narrow anyway. And obviously, the rest of the attackers are in narrow positions anyway. And also, I don't want them to sit on top of each other. I don't want it to be a thing where like there isn't almost even a space to dribble or pass or build up play, because they're all on top of each other. So 50 width is what I've gone for with this narrow formation. And then my players in the box is on 7. This is mainly just so I have those wide centre mids making attacking runs. I want my cam, I want my strikers, I want bodies in the box creating so many different options, so then we can just overload our opponent and make it as difficult as we can to defend. And then I do have my corners and my free kicks both on 2. This is mostly down to just trying to avoid counter-attacks from set pieces. Obviously it is hard still, but it's the best balance I've found. And also there's a very nice set piece tactic with the corners on 2 as well, where you can basically whip it to the back post from a short corner and get a pretty guaranteed header at the back post most times. Now guys, we are going to head over into the instructions. This is how I have it set out. I do have attacking centre mids. Marquinhos not as much, but Messi at centre mid is absolutely busted. And I would also recommend even having another attacking style player there who can defend a little bit. So maybe like a Yaya Toure, or even like an Erdegaard, like basically like an attacking centre mid that can also defend a bit. Obviously Messi can't do the defending as much, but he's so good with the Travellas and everything else that he brings. He's an absolute must-have in my opinion. Now, I do have both of my strikers on stay central, get in behind. This one is a pretty self-explanatory one. Obviously, we want them in those central areas because they're the most deadly areas on the pitch. They're the areas where you're going to score the most goals. And then, obviously, I do have both of them on getting behind. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, to work with the fast build-up, the direct passing, we want him to be making those in-behind runs to try and score as many goals as we can. It really is as simple as that. Now, I do have the cam on stay forward, get into the box and cross. Now, this is for 2 reasons. One of them is I do want him on stay forward to make those good attacking runs, to be in the most deadly areas of the pitch as possible. Also, I do want him there because there is a glitch with the cams, basically, where the cam and the CDM or the centre mids will swap positions. So having them on stay forward just means that he'll stay in that cam spot. He won't drift into midfield. Apologies. And he'll just stay in the attacking positions. And then we do have him on getting to the box for cross. Again, this is mainly just to be available for cutbacks, back post crosses, and just be in the box for those deadly situations. Because the game might think we're going to cross, but we might not. But it will still move our player in the box for that basically situation if it does arise. Now, I do have my central centre mid as basically our all-out defensive midfielder. This is going to be the guy that sits back, helps protect your back line. You try and concede the least amount of goals possible. And really, like I said, just be a strong defensive unit with this guy. He's going to be the one who sits back, sweeps it up so your other centre mids and all your other players can attack and go forward. And then my left and right centre mid, they are both on getting to the box for cross. And I do still keep them on cover wing as well, which is something I do want to talk about. So I do have them on getting to the box for cross, again, to just make those attacking runs, be in the box and try and contribute towards goals. Try and score some long shots as well if there's any drag, like cutbacks to the edge, and be available for cutbacks and things like that as well. And obviously we do keep them on cover wing just to make sure that they basically make these little wider runs. So if we ever do want them to make any overlapping attacking runs, they'll go round the strikers. And also just to make sure we do have that extra width when we are pressing as well. Because I didn't want to have all of them on stay central, so then when we are pressing, if it goes anywhere wider than the fullbacks, we don't have much press. So that's why they stay on cover wing. And then I do have both of my keeper and my centre-backs all on default instructions. Again, nothing too crazy here. It's just about being as strong defensively as we can. You could be a bit more aggressive with your keeper if you want him on sweeper keeper and comes for crosses. Sweeper keeper is probably a good idea, to be honest, with how much of a high line we're playing and how much we're pressing. Having him available to come and sweep that ball up is actually a good idea, so I would definitely recommend that. And then I do have my fullbacks on, let me go on them, stay back while attacking overlap. This is mainly because I do want them to stay back. I don't want them to bomb forward, but if they are going to attack, I want them to make those overlapping runs, stay wide and work the wide overloads and just spread out as much as we can when we are going forward. So yeah, guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please smash a like, drop a comment if you have any questions, and please smash that sub button. It helps an absolute ton. See you guys next time. Peace.